Welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We are taking on Face here, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go into the matches here. I actually have these pre-recorded. I was a bit distracted this morning playing another game, so I have quite a few matches that I remember. I said this was my what happened yesterday, so I have to win 2 matches today, singles, annoyingly so. I hate playing singles. So yeah, these are pre-recorded, and basically I'm just gonna go over what happened in these, and then see what else is up. I don't know, but this, well, we have 2 losses, or is it 3? Maybe 3 losses in this video. I can't remember which. Not all of them were actually losses. There's 2 matches in there where I matched into I think for multi and don't rematch. And I wasn't gonna take them because I think I wasn't sure it was in lift loss control for either of them, so it really wasn't, and I didn't need to anyways, so it kind of wasn't. Yeah. Oh geez, I forgot to send the friend request for multi. Unfortunate. Yeah, so there's gonna be 2 matches here. So this first one, a lot of great units here. We've seen the blast from the past, Astra, New Year's. He was very powerful in his heyday. One of the units that I still regret not being able to pull to this day. We have Hrid here, Summer Hrid, Micaiah here to ensure that the debuffs stick from Hrid, the frozen and everything, and then a lot of null miracle stuff going on there. So this would have been interesting to play with Marth, play against to try to tank it with Marth, but I was concerned about the amount of debuffs going on, and then also Red Mage, I forget his name, attacking into Marth as well. I was kind of concerned about how all of that would work, and then Hrid also had Hardy Bearing, and I don't think Marth would have been able to take out Hrid with all of the debuffs that he would have had to deal with going into that matchup, plus Frozen against him. So it just didn't seem like the greatest matchup, so I didn't go for it. So I decided to try out the Gale Force option, and I wasn't focused enough. I started off doing fairly well in terms of what I had planned out to do, but somewhere in the middle there, I got it all messed up and I ran out of actions, and you'll see that happen as I play through here. So starting positions, it's really just to get Layla up into the trap zone, to step on the traps and take care of things there, which I've just had a fantastic time with her doing that this week. She's just been really useful this past 2 Astra season with Elm, to be specific. She's just been, her usability, what she provides, has just skyrocketed with partnership with Elm, and yeah, so this is her on the team with Elm. I did the reposition in that spot in front of Micaiah to ensure that Layla would have a target to attack, and not have to attack into Fort Mortis, who was the Far Savior. So Elm inflicted the Undefended on Micaiah, and what I'm doing now is setting it up so that I can get what's her face, Tana, to initiate or set up the warp chain, because that's how this is supposed to work. Unfortunately, I found for this one in particular, I was missing just a couple of actions in order to get it completed. Really what I wanted to do is pin the 2 range units in the corner there, or at least just the Red Mage, Asker, and I forget his name.
Message received.
Yeah, just to pin both of them, and that would have been GG's, or I could have just pinned the Red Mage and it would have been, a win from there. But I messed up around here, and the problem is that Thor wasn't able to get up there. I wasn't able to get Thor into position so that she could get up there early. She needed to be the one to make the primary initiation on Duma, because when Crom does it, he's not going to hit the Gale Force. So this is a problem that I've kind of been running into with Chrom. He has the Erica ring, and the Erica ring is really for taking out
Message received.
Rhea's Wind Sweep Erica ring to take out Rhea's Water Sweep, rather. But I haven't really been using him for that lately, so I think I might swap his build back to something that will give him Gale Force a bit more consistently. But I mean, by then we might be running into a whole nother mess of problems with whatever we get in the meta at that time. But for now, it was just a problem that I was having most of the week whenever I tried to use Chrom to do the Gale Force thing. I think it happened again in another match this week, but I'm forgetting. But yeah, how this team is supposed to work is that Thor is supposed to be the one to go in first or getting close, so that we can take advantage of World Breaker to ensure the Gale Force here. So the problem with Chrom is that he's going to one-shot Duma. I don't really want that, because it means that he's only going to get one cooldown. This Duma has guard in the A skill. I forget which, sturdy something, one of those sturdy skills. So he's only going to get one cooldown here for his Gale Force, which is currently at 4. So that was not great, and then he's kind of stuck. That's because of the Water Sweep. If it was typically I would have ran Cancel on him, which would have allowed him to be a bit more mobile in terms of freeing up that space, which would have then allowed me to probably try to get Thor to attack into Grid. So that's another thing that I'm probably going to change. Since this team also is running Layla, it's probably not the best idea to have Chrom with Water Sweep on there, since Layla inflicts Flash, kind of covering too many bases. But then also he had it for a specific reason at the time, so he probably doesn't need it anymore, is ultimately what I'm saying. So I'm going to change that as well. So there's a couple of changes that I'm going to have to make to this team moving forward. I think it's still pretty good for a mixed Gale Force team with ranged and melee options. Alternatively, I could have probably also waited until turn 3 to get Camilla in, but I was a bit too impatient. But yeah, you're seeing the problem here now is that I'm stuck, and I can't kill Valadar. There we go. I can't kill him, because if I kill him, then Thor is failing to take out Asker.
Close your eyes.
I would need a path to get through to the other units there. And Asker would initiate on Chrom, probably getting the KO there, which isn't great. I don't have a way to... the options are here to dance Chrom or attack with Thor and get the Gale Force. Or dance Chrom and take out For Mortis, which is what I ended up doing. But the problem is For Mortis also has guard, and then I was thinking I should leave Plumeria here, because if I move her onto that trap is real. Chrom will take the chip damage, and then it will put him in a bad position to tank, because he's going to have to tank. Even if he gets Gale Force, even if he gets the Gale Force off, he's going to end up being stuck there, because I just don't have enough actions to, primarily Cancel, to move him out of the way. So, again, another reason that I should give him back the Cancel B skill. So that's what I'm planning to do. I'm going to drop the Water Sweep, Wind Sweep. I'm going to drop it and give him Cancel back into that B skill. Yeah, and from here you're seeing me trying to figure out what to do, and I ended up moving Plumeria up. Chrom fails to kill a Grid, which he really needed to do, but then also he wasn't moving, so I can kind of give him some grace there, unfortunately. He is able to take out For Mortis because armor effective damage is fantastic in the current meta, and that opens up a spot for Thor to potentially come in, but then Thor is going to fail to be able to take out Becky. So that really just shuts everything down, because I was hoping that she would be able to take out Becky and then take out Grid and then cancel and pin Asker, and then have Chrom probably try to tank a hit from Asker and Valadar. Even though that doesn't sound like the best idea, I think Chrom would have probably died, but that was the final option that I had available to me. And as you can see here, Thor failing to take out Ather, and that's pretty much GG's. The Gale Force plan is over. No additional options available to me, and just had to call it. I think I should have been a bit more patient for this particular matchup. She has Glacies, so I attack in. Glacies procs, and the problem is that on the follow-up combat, Thor is not going to be able to live the Glacies hit. The second Glacies, or the second combat overall, so it just was no longer worth it. So, yeah, that one was the first loss. And here we go with the second match. So this was for multi. This is a well-built defense. What I was going to do is initially I thought, you know what, let's just surrender here and move on to the next one, because I didn't want to really show off his defense, because he typically does it anyway. So I was like, all right, no, play it, try to beat it, and then, surrender afterwards and then move on. But I don't know, I kind of ended up doing two things in between and none of the above. I did end up surrendering in the end, but it wasn't really what I wanted to show off. What I wanted to happen here, I was trying to set it up so that Erica would attack into one of the Marth, just so that you could see that matchup. Essentially, I wanted to bait out Yunaka and Erica at the same time, but I think what ended up the mistake I made was that I got the ranges wrong. So Erica did not attack, which was kind of the whole point. Having Erica attack was actually really important to the process, but I messed that part up. And for this type of layout, you don't want Erica to stick around, because Erica on turn 2 is going to have the entire map covered. Tough to deal with. But yeah, the plan was to set up somewhere here and then have Erica attack, but I was kind of not doing it right. And then also that trap right there, I'm estimating that it's the real one. I'm not certain, but I think it would be, because it makes the most sense. But that would have been the ideal spot to put Marth in, to be able to bait out Erica, but it didn't end up working. I don't know why it didn't work, because
with hopeful hearts,
she has the Sigurd ring, so her range without the Sigurd ring is just below Hector, and then if she uses her style, she should be able to reach Marth. But she didn't do that, and I don't know why. You're gonna see there would have been a scenario where if Yunaka attacked first and then Erica attacked after, Marth would have died, Brave Marth, because of the Brave hits. You wouldn't have the Brave hits for Erica in that scenario, but it looks like she just didn't reach, and I miscalculated her range, and I think okay, yeah, I think I saw it. Yeah, I definitely I should have went up further. I definitely miscalculated her range. Her range was the top trap.
Yes.
That was the one that I needed to get to. I thought it was the bottom one, the bottom trap right there. But it's fine. It really wasn't gonna result in anything anyways. And the only thing that we ended up doing was baiting out Yunaka. So just going over this defense a little bit here. It's set up so that Yunaka is essentially a sacrifice. She's not the real threat here. The real threat is Erica. She's the only one in the corner with a positional assist, and that is ingenious for this particular layout. And also interesting as well, because she did not swap. And I don't know why she didn't. She didn't swap, which she should have, because there were units that were threatened. But in any case, this is an ingenious setup, because Yunaka isn't really the threat. So you can bait Yunaka and then think you're safe, but then what will happen is that someone will move, and then Erica will come down and swap, and then you'll get hit. More than likely, unit will be sniped by Erica. The coverage provided by
Victory is ours.
Ather, far saving. I think she's a better near saver than a far saver. Okay. Well, she moved first, which kind of sucks. I don't know if it's a turn order or what it is, but you kind of needed her to not move first there. Freya, if
With hopeful hearts.
and then this is the problem now, because the save. I could also set it up so that we can take her out with a Elm or something. Get up there and take out Hector, and then take that was enough. There were options to be able to get through this, but it just wasn't worth it to show you anymore. And then also it wasn't what I wanted to show off. I definitely think I definitely miscalculated the range of Erica. But I think Ather here is a better near saver than she is a far save. That's my initial estimations, but then seeing this Hector melee tank so well, and then seeing the fact that he has it set up with this, then probably he's already done some testing to know that Ather is not the greatest near save. I don't know, but yeah, that was that one. Not a lot that really went on there. It was just for show pretty much, and the show didn't even get set up right, so it was all for naught at the end. This was the match that I did win for one of the two because it ended up being a particularly long morning. One of those ones. And that's typically what happens whenever I have two matches to play on the last day. It ends up taking way longer than it normally would, and that's why I try to avoid it as much as possible. Alright, so change location, let's continue recording. So the plan here is pretty straightforward. We're just going to pick off the most threatening units, starting with Dimitri here, because he is getting the Divine Nectar and he can potentially do something weird. So I'm going to take him out first and then see where everyone else ends up. Don't really want to end Sigurd's action, but I think this is the optimal layout for the team, which will result in Sigurd's turn being ended. So just gonna have to work with that. Ideally, I would have wanted him to move on turn 1 because he would be easier to snipe and less likely to be getting covered by the saviors because he has a higher threat range than them, but that is going to have to wait until next turn to see how that whole thing plays out. But for now, we'll save. For now, it's pretty safe to just take Dimitri here after Elm inflicts the undefended. And then from there, they're going to move, but there isn't really anyone that's going to take full advantage of the Divine Nectar or use the Divine Nectar in a way that will negatively impact me. I think you might have heard a helicopter just fly past, but I don't know. Yeah, that's what that was. But yeah, everything's all done. Just going to set it up so that I can, do the thing. And then from there, we'll see what turn 2 has to bring. Now this match took quite a bit of time because I was not focused at all, and then also Sigurd ended up in a position that I was less than comfortable with. What I was saying about him being covered by the saves and not wanting to lock him. Also, I probably could have attempted to lock Freyr, but I could not put Baby Golvik in that spot above Plumeri because that's where Sigurd would hit. So I had to just avoid going over there. Okay, so so here they come, and basically we're just gonna look at the movement. If there's Sigurd getting locked, and Athos, I anticipated that he would be the one to do the positional, since there was really no one else really close that would have taken advantage of it. I guess, Neathhogger could have pivoted, but did she have pivot? I forget, but I figured Athos would be the one to be aware of.
Emblem guide you.
Take him off the map. And now the problem is Sigurd, so
Emblem, engage.
we gotta move out of the way so that he can move. Well, we can't lock him again because, different unit. It's only once per every other turn, so we gotta move out of the way so we can, and then we'd also have to do the Elm thing. We're gonna take Freyr here since he's way too close for comfort. We're just going to make some space over here that we can retreat into.
Why wait?
Let's see, is there anything that comes to mind? Pawns of Loki, nothing really there to talk about. Elm has been fantastic. Let's see how well. I think he'll perform just as well once his bonus season is over. He's very, very good in terms of as a combat unit as well as what his effect does. I can't sing his praises enough as a offensive mythic. Very good.
I'll do it.
Trying to see if there's anything else I can think of.
Embla were here.
I'm looking for something new to watch on Netflix, but I haven't figured out anything good just yet. SD is this week, SDS, but like I said, I don't really think I'm going to be playing too much of that. It's looking like it's going to be a bit of a pain to deal with. Okay, so here we got the problem. This is Sigurd here. This was the biggest issue with clearing this map. That's why it took as long as it did. Celica popped out. Not too worried about that, but we got Layla. The reason I wasn't worried about Celica is because I have Lynn in that range, which is why I moved her over there if you didn't notice. But yeah, Lynn will take care of that. And Layla here, unfortunately, is not able to break through Rhea. So this was a big time sink trying to figure out what to do here. It is something that I could beat, but the order of operations is something that I had to come up with properly, and it's a good thing that Layla popped out here because she inflicted the flash on Rhea, which allowed me to get a safe initiation, and I think it splashed to Neathhogger as well. The problem is, what I wanted to do in this situation is either snipe Sigurd or end his action, but he is behind Rhea, so the unit that's going to get hit is Rhea herself, but Sigurd will still have the freedom to run all the way down and smack me in the face, which is something that I would like to avoid. So what I ended up doing was some shenanigans. And also Elm lost his +1 movement, which was a big issue that I didn't actually notice. I should have left him on the mountain tile. He lost the +1 movement because he was surrounded by 3 non-beast units. If it's just less than 2, he's typically fine. But because it's 3, he no longer met that condition. So he lost the +1 movement and he's no longer transformed, which means he doesn't hit as hard as he normally would. So I was trying to incorporate some movement here. The sabotage did help that I have equipped on Cordelia. It did help to some extent, but not exactly what I was looking for in terms of final damage output. But we were able to get going a little bit later on, as you'll see, as I try to continue to maneuver ahead here. Ultimately, what will happen here is that I'm going to take out Rhea.
I see.
And then that will put me into a prime position to end Sigurd's action. Was that what happened? I don't even remember. I think that's what happened. But yeah, I'm just setting up for something like that to potentially take place. Who was it that got the kill? I think I got Rhea very low, and I was then able to take her out. I think that has to be the case. I think. Let's put this here. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's really interesting that he got his setup like this. How Sigurd ended up in this position. He's really the only one that can take advantage of the Divine Nectar for the next turn. And not great. Really don't want him to take advantage of it. And he definitely will. I think what I ended up doing was breaking some structures with Layla here, just trying to get closer. But it didn't really affect too much, or I don't know. Let's keep watching and see what happens. I don't particularly remember because this was like hours ago, but I do know that we got the win. I do know that much. So let's see, refresh the mind here of what happened. I really do wonder if we're ever going to be able to get like an extra action out of Plumeria, like an extra dance, or if she's just going to stay, if they're going to upgrade the mythic dancers at some stage or give us new ones. I don't mind. you know, that she stays the same. I really don't mind because you can, at this point, change her entire kit,
Close your eyes.
weapon included, weapon and dance included, and she would still function fantastically. But I do wonder if they ever have any intention of upgrading these units. The warp denial from lower ground and
Let us bless them.
there we go. That's okay. That's how we got it done. two attacks.
On our way.
The warp denial was really annoying because I wanted to pop Baby Govig's dual button, but because she was the dual unit, wasn't able to do that, and I was trying to figure out why I wasn't able to hit 4 times with Baby Govig. Must be some type of follow-up denial or something on Rhea that I was forgetting about, but that cost me to miss the kill here. If I was able to get like 2 more hits, then it would have been GG's on that Rhea, but it's fine either way.
If Lady Embla were here.
Yeah, so that's combination basically, and then we can put Baby Govig in the spot behind Elm, and we don't have to worry about Sigurd for the following turn. Luckily, it just worked out that way. Unfortunately, we do end up wasting some actions on Layla, which I always, like, since its introduction, I've really hated to have the extra unit pop up and then do nothing with both of their actions. It's so wasteful. Might as well have just not used them, or, you know, brought someone else, but sometimes it does happen, and I think I said this before, the extra slot unit shouldn't be the reason that you lose a match. And yeah, they really should be contributing something to the team. Layla did contribute with the flash. I imagine this would have been a little bit more difficult if Rhea was able to counterattack. So there we go, we are able to take out Rhea. And then from there, we just set it up so that we can get going on the following turn. Just the far save. Hathroon and Sigurd left. Not too much to worry about too much. Netflix keeps recommending Stranger Things to me, and I don't know. I've just not, like, I've heard people say it's a good show, and I'm just not particularly drawn to it. That and Queen's Gambit. I tried to watch Queen's Gambit, but some of it was in French, and I don't speak French, so there's some parts of it that just weren't translated, and I hate, like, not being in on what's going on. It kind of feels like that defeats the purpose of the show, but then some shows are kind of like that where you gotta find it out afterwards, I guess, but they don't want to pick that up because of that. And then also, what else? There's a couple of things that were just like Alice in Borderlands seems like a weird one as well. I think I'd have to watch that subbed because Japanese dubs are not the greatest. So I'd have to watch that subbed, but I'm trying to avoid reading because the other game that I'm playing is just so much screen time that I feel like I'm going blind because my eyes are starting to lose focus whenever I get too tired. So I think they're being strained, so I'm trying to not read as much and just listen to the content that is on offer. So that means no subbed contents for a little bit. I'm trying to stick to dubs or, you know, English voiceovers. But so far I haven't found that many shows that kind of match into what I'm looking for. I'm trying to find something that is maybe mobster. I feel like that's what I'm looking for right now. After finishing Pinky Blinders, I feel like I want to continue in that particular vein. That aside, this match is pretty much done. We have one pot, we just got to get the second one. And we have a ton of options to take out Nidhogger. She's surprisingly easy to take out when she's by herself, but then I say that knowing full well that I have like 7 units here that are like meta OP, so probably not the measuring stick that I should use here, but nevertheless, we're gonna be able to close this match out without too many problems. Ponza Loki. I didn't even play Ponza Loki until like the last 10 minutes. I was able to get a match in real quick. Lost, of course, because Ponza Loki's a joke. Lorather It's just melee units. There's no range units. It's literally just Lorather, Neathogger, Marth. Annoying. Yeah, Bonza Loki is just not fun right now, man. Really, really not fun. And I can probably understand why they haven't even brought back that one mode, Rucker Siege, because the damage output just wouldn't be fair to the Ruckers at this point. I don't know how they're ever going to be able to revive that game mode, because the units hit so hard that it doesn't even take one turn to clear the Ruckers anymore. So don't know what, I don't think, we haven't seen it in like over a year at this point. I don't think it's been a year since the last one came out, since it last came out. So maybe that's another dead game mode. I don't know. Let's see what happens with that. But yeah, this one is done. If you have any recommendations for shows, just let me know. Always trying to find something interesting to watch, not subbed, something that is in English. And yeah, I'm out of options, which is weird because I have Netflix and I'm just scrolling through and I'm like, pass, not interested. I know it's really peculiar. What am I paying this $9 for? Anyways, man, GG's. See you in the next one.